Yo, it's Guido coming at you with a Tactics Talk. Welcome back, guys, and thanks for tuning in. And normally I would be all set up here. That's not true. I'm never set up correctly. All right, there we go. Got my coffee. Got a replay. IQQ for you. Clan Boops. I'm assuming that's Casual Boops. Is that the whole name? I'll just call him Boops. I think it's Casual Boops. Anyway, check out his stuff too. He's a streamer as well. So this is IQQ for you. He is in his M4A1 FL-10 that goes on for a while. Basically, what is that? It's a Sherman with a French oscillating turret on it. Little auto loader. It's got 4 shells. I just finished my 100 battle challenge in this one. Did pretty well. And it took a while for me to get comfortable with it because I was definitely... Actually, I might not be done. I am not done, I don't think. I think I stopped because of Battle Pass. But anyway, I'm getting more comfortable with this tank. And it can be an extremely strong tank. He is here on a pure tier 6 battle with 3 artillery on Himmersdorf, Berlin. Sends me a note and says, might not be the best game you've ever seen score-wise. I wasn't top damage or earn anything special, and I had a few teammates that played very well. Wouldn't have won without them. He goes on in there, said he had a plan, and it more or less went the way he wanted it to. Now, I think that oftentimes these close games where you play well, where you maybe even really didn't do that much damage, contributed but weren't, way up at the top. A lot of times, all those little things you do is really important to the win. And I do this debrief style, taking a look at people's replays, and all I can really talk to usually is to the person that I'm looking at the replay for. It's hard to have any idea what the rest of the 29 people in the game are doing. So I try to concentrate just on what each individual player is doing, and I think that's a good way to go for individual improvement there. But it does matter what the rest of the team does. And oftentimes, as an individual, those little things you do that may not be cranking out a bunch of assists or a bunch of damage are very important to winning. And oftentimes as well, it's the close games where there's a lot to learn. And also, they tend to be more fun a lot of times. You get these kind of close, white-knuckle games where you're just trying to scrape out a win. And things aren't going great for you. You're not just dropping 5,000 damage, but it ends up working out. So I think this is what we've got going on here. IQQ's a good player. Let's see what he does. He's running an IRM in the bonus slot. He has vents. That's an interesting choice, actually. Do they not have bonus slots on tier 6? Maybe it isn't. My brain, I don't know. Anyway, he's got vents and he's got optics. So very interesting setup right there. He's got some small kits and a manual fire extinguisher. Carrying a decent amount of special AP. I don't think that's APCR. No, it is APCR. It's got the black around it, right? No. Yes. No. The symbols. It is AP. Peacock. All right. So it's just regular. Not regular. It's regular special AP. No. Special premium AP. Pay to win? Something? I don't know. No, it's a special round, but it's just an AP round that is special. Right? Okay, that's obvious to everybody, clearly. We're going to go to the Sniperino. He did note in his note that he was going to play the support role early on in this map. He did say something interesting that I think is very true on this map. If you don't have a lot of gun depression or a lot of armor, this can be a difficult map, and I think I would agree with that. Although there is some Sniperino stuff from back on this part of the map, so you can be effective provided the enemy's giving you some shots. So looks like we're gonna hang out here. There's the Buggy. Look out, Mr. Buggy. Buggy's gonna get a nerf here in the near future. He stands in for the shots and okay, gets away with it. Wow, and there was a scout there, but that's a 178 Bravo. Unknown if he had line of sight on you right there. Also, the low tier wheels really have bad view range. You think the high tier ones have bad. The low tier are horribly. Where is this dude? No, he's behind everything. So we're just kind of hanging out initially. We do have to be careful with the arty. There are 3 on each side. If we take a look in the north, nothing really good is going on up there. There's only 3 tanks. The M6, the 3001, and a YOLO TD. The T78, is that what that is? T78's getting crazy, just pushing on in there. The enemy team did not seem to invest very much in the north. You get this oftentimes at tier 6. Where's the KV2? He has not shown his face yet. Very surprised by that. So there's a KV-2 lurking around somewhere that hasn't joined the fray. And we're just kind of dropping some auto-loader action on this guy. Ran out of oomph, but somebody else closed him out. While I've been talking and you've been watching, you've seen somebody just kind of use this spot exactly how you want to. You're going to look for shots of opportunity. You can switch from side to side of the map. You can see almost all the way up into the heavy area. If they come south through that middle road, they may actually get into draw range right there. And of course, you've got all this field here to take on. His Cromwell and Thunderbolt are kind of looking around. They're getting beat up a little bit, at least the Cromwell is, and now there's a bit of a push coming from this other way. Looks like we've reacted to that. That's a bummer. Well, third-person shooting, he's doing a really nice job, so he's got a nice aim capability right there. Me personally, I find I have to actually zoom in to get that kind of shot. I do not do anywhere near as well with that third-person stuff. Looks like the enemy team is winning the south pretty well, so they've taken a bit of a lead. We're down 3-6. But QQ's got a lot of shots down here potentially. Looks like the north has lost, so nothing good going on there. And this is where you're starting to sense this is a loss, right? You're looking at this going, I'm going to have to do a lot of work here to make this work out in my favor. A couple misses. Hits right to reload. I haven't been watching that too closely, but you'll notice that he hits C and reloads pretty quickly right there, knowing that he'd rather get his full clip reloaded as opposed to sit around up there looking for more shots with only 2 shots. We're going to fall back. I think this is a good idea. There's no sense in getting trapped up there. And with the enemy coming around the north side, they'll have shots into his back, so we might as well head over this way. Head north and kind of meet them from cover over here and maybe beat them up a little bit as they come in. I think I gave away the end result of this. I'm a little bit surprised by how far down they are. 4,000 hit points, so let's see how this goes. The AMD's still raging around, lighting guys up. So we've got the little FL-10, and he's about to go toe-to-toe with a 3601, a KV-2, a Cheeto, and some Arty backup. There we go. A little thump on him. That guy's camo is horrible. Ah, there we go. Nicely done. Closing out that thing was hugely important. And we hit C and we go to the reload. My dog is barking at the mailman, as she often does. 5-9, we're down 3,800. Here comes the Hellcat. He's going to YOLO in. Now, what you're going to see at this tier often is people will get over-aggressive when they feel like they're winning, when the Rompel appears that it's starting to accelerate. That can be extremely dangerous at the higher tiers, but even at the lower tiers, especially when you have a player like QQ who's done the right thing and fallen back. I mean, I don't know if you can overestimate the number of battles that are won by this kind of gameplay right now in World of Tanks. It's probably been like this for a very long time, but this is just absolute textbook on how you win these close ones. Look at the bush use. He's just making sure that every shot he takes, he has a solid bush. The bummer right now, though, is there's so many different angles that they can be coming from, and he gets lit right there. That's a little bit harsh. Somebody missed. KV-2 must be on a reload. We're just praying we can shoot before we get deleted. What is he doing? Oh, I bet he's just I don't think he was very far from having that shot, and that's a kind of an example right there. He was being spotted, I think, from multiple directions there. Arty comes in, so now they know where he is. It becomes a little bit more dangerous using this spot at this point because he got lit right there. If you're killing people from a hidden spot, they can oftentimes click on the minimap or type in chat and say where you are. That kind of depends on how much people pay attention to those things, but when it gets lit on the minimap, you're much more likely for them to know exactly where you are. Not exactly, the last position you were in. There are some openings in these bushes, so he does have to be careful on how he pokes out. Evened it up quite a bit, 1,320, 304 goes down. Cheeto's trying to figure out where this guy is. And the question then is, where's the 3045M and the other Thunderbolt? It looks like his Thunderbolt has kept them a bit busy. And his 2801 is doing the best that he can to keep some guys lit or find them as they come in here. There goes the Cheeto. Looks like he may push the 2801 and win that fight. QQ makes a move. All right, let's just take a look at this for just a second, you know. All right, we've broken free out into the open. Is this a good or bad idea? Well, it's not too bad of an idea if you consider that the 3045 and Thunderbolt were seen over there. Now, they may have moved a little bit further to the east, but not too much, because his Thunderbolt is right there spotting with his whole 38 hit points. The 2801 hasn't spotted anybody over in that area. It has been a while since those guys were lit, so they could be coming back around. And you've always got to consider the possibility that an M44 might be on the move, looking to do some spotting endgame. But as a general overarching strategy right now, I think this is pretty good, and he's relatively safe, I believe, from getting spotted doing this. And if he can sneak in behind the Cheeto, he's going to be in really good shape. Unfortunately, the Cheeto has enough hit points, depending on how this clip goes, and this is something you want to consider when you're going to try to push someone and kill them out, right? The Cheeto has 500 hit points, and we've got 135 damage alpha. That's right at the ability to clip him out. We get a couple low rolls, it could be ugly. But now he's taking a big hit from somebody else, and it looks like QQ is going to change direction because the Cheeto sort of pushed out and around and killed off the 2801. He gave up a lot of hit points to do it, but I don't think that was necessarily a bad idea. Total Buster is bummed out that the Cheeto got him, and then after an initial turn, looked like QQ was thinking maybe the Cheeto might break into the open and have a shot, and now he's come around this one. He's got to be really careful, because if he gets too far out there, let's just take a look at this map and we'll talk about this. If he gets too far out around this corner, there could be someone in the ditches. They could be back here, Overwatch. They could even be over further where they were last seen, which was actually quite far back there, to be honest. They could have filtered up into this area here where there's some hold down spots. So he takes a peek, and one reason you do things like that is, did he get lit, right? Does the bulb go off? As opposed to just commit and rage around the corner and go right at him. He takes a peek, takes a look, anyone to shoot? Is my light bulb going off? Nope. So essentially, your sixth sense can be a de facto spotting mechanism. It goes off, you know somebody has line of sight. That doesn't tell you exactly where they are, but it can really pare down the possibilities of where they are. At the very least, you know they're within spotting range around that corner, and you stop poking around, right? You don't push. Say you were considering going that way. Take a peek around a corner, pop your head up above a ridge, go back down, count to 3. Okay, didn't get lit? Fantastic. I can go, maybe. All right. M44 took out the Thunderbolt. Very nice. Looks like he was maybe trying to push in there. We have a good amount of hit points. Now the Cheeto is just going in at the Thunderbolt right there. And I guess QQ is looking for maybe the arty or trying to change the fight. This is always a gut call right here. You know what I'm saying? Do I go find the arty, and then all of a sudden the Cheeto comes in? He did mention that in his note about the over-aggressive Cheeto. I think the Cheeto made a pretty decent move right there. And maybe forced QQ to change his idea of going to get the M44, but now his M44 takes out the Cheeto. And we were headed back anyway, and now we kind of changed what we're doing. We're out in the middle of the map. Good example of the enemy M44 got his. So now it's a 3045 and an enemy M44. This can be dicey. And the 3045 is showing not a lot of damage. Probably 2 clips, unless he took some damage that QQ doesn't know about it. So when we find out, if we get the guy lit, we'll know if he's got less hit points. But from what I'm seeing right now, probably can't clip him out. So he's going to have to weather that storm. And it'd be really nice if he could get a couple shots into him, hide, reload his clip, and then go after him. So let's see how this plays out. Also remember that as he's lit, oh, the guy had no hit points. Took him a while to find him. There you go. All right, that was a great example right there. You'll note that as I was talking, it showed that guy with all kinds of hit points. Let's just back that up, because this is important. If the tanks, when they get damaged, are not within your draw range, and it may be radio range, but I think it's draw range, then you won't know what their actual hit points are. Note it's showing that he's probably got 80%, 75, 90 something, I don't know, whatever it is, and there are a lot of hit points, and he's down, he being QQ is down 317 hit points, right? At least that's what the the little indicator is showing, provided you have that set up, and I do, all right? But what happens is, and I don't know if there was anything in the chat. Maybe he got some stuff in chat. I wasn't watching the chat too much. Sometimes that can help. Let's just stop and pause that as well. Just another little tidbit. Typing in chat what the hit points are of remaining guys, especially if they're particularly low or particularly high, and you know what it is for sure, that's a good thing. That can help out. So he's coming around here, and we find this dude on low hit points. All right, see how it just jumped down? You saw the bar just disappear down to the right there, and obviously he was hit several times. Could have been arty, could have been blind shots, could have been outside of the draw distance when he took the damage. That also is a great indication of why he wasn't that aggressive, right? He was down to 39 hit points. Takes a while to find him. We get him. He does get one into us, all right? Gonna try to wiggle jiggle maybe, or are we just gonna, there we go, gonna hide, make it a little hard for the artillery to get shots. I will say this, just another little tactical tidbit. When you are trying to avoid arty, try to avoid knocking things down or going through fences or crushing barrels or whatever, because if they're trying to time you and get a shot, say they're on a reload or they're waiting for their zoom to go in and doing lead fire and all the stuff they're doing, all the calculations in their brains, if you go dark and then knock something down, that gives them a better idea of where you are, especially if they're like, all right, he's going this direction, and then, oh, I see the fence go down, let me drop it right there. So try to avoid doing that. Anything you can to give them as little SA as possible. We got 4 minutes, which is a decent amount of time. Let's talk about arty hunting and what he wants to do. We could go to the cap, and I don't know what he's going to do, so we'll talk about it here, and then we'll see what QQ decides to do. You could go to the cap, and you have plenty of time. You can cap this single ship, no problem. The M44 might come up and try to get a snapshot at you. More than likely, he's going to have to expose himself to get a shot on you based on view ranges, which means if he does hit you, at least you can try to chase him down or maybe return the shots before he gets away. Kind of depends on how good the arty player is and how he approaches. The second option is to go look for the arty. A third option is a combo. Take a few minutes to look, but you're going to need at least 2 minutes to cap. The problem with waiting to 2 minutes to start the cap is if he gets a cheeky, lucky decap just before time runs out and you can't get to him and kill him, then and you don't have enough time to continue with the cap, you're not going to win. So QQ looks like initially maybe looking for the guy. Let's say this also about arty, and no offense to my arty fans out there. Oftentimes, and I'm sure I'm not talking to you, I'm sure you're all over this, but oftentimes the standard arty player is not the brightest, and they will continue to sit in the same spot. So he might have been able to take a look down that road, and it looks like he's going to choose the cap option. Now this also serves to potentially draw the arty out and make it easier to kill him. The arty is also going to more than likely blind shoot. So when I jump on the cap end game like this, and I know I have one arty, I'm going to go ahead, oftentimes I'll zoom out because I want to see if a shot comes in. And when the shot comes in, I'm going to obviously watch where it goes and see what he's thinking. The obvious place on this is, there's not really an obvious place on this one, to be honest. Oftentimes if there's cover on an arty circle, or either soft or hard, whether it's like a bunker or a wall or something, or a rock, people will often hide against that or try to hide behind it, especially behind in the direction that they think the arty is going to come from. People will often get into bushes, especially if there's other tanks and they want to try to hide, so bombing bushes helps out if you're the arty player. There's not really an obvious one on this circle. We also have to look at the other relative spots you could get shot from. Imagine you were on this arty circle and you knew their arty was over here, say, on the east side, on the other side of this big building. You'd want to get up against the edge of this circle and hide out right here, right? I tend to like the edge because they rarely shoot at the edges. It's usually somewhere in the middle. Sometimes people get like, oh, we got on the cap. Now this is a bit of a bummer right here, right? Nope, he went across the cap. All right, good. Looks like maybe he's going to try to set up, or maybe he's going to come at him. I was going to say, sometimes when you have an arty on the cap and you're on the other cap, now look what he's doing. It's exactly what I just talked about. Why does he know the arty player is on the other side of the map? Because the arty player just drove across his cap and let him know. Beautiful. So he's going to use this building to hide against the arc of the arty player. Oh, look at that. Shot just came in. There's another clue. Yep, he didn't do anything but kind of hang out on the cap or nearby the cap. So we're in good shape right here. He's going to have to actually come around the corner. Very nice. I do this too. You kind of wiggle jiggle. All right. As far as setup for this, he could come from the left side. He can come from the right side. I think he's guessing right side based on the arc came from that side. But he's also got his hole more or less forward. I might shift it left just a little bit, so that when he starts turning towards the guy, he can get the hole towards him faster. Doesn't matter if he comes from that way or that way. And he's looking with his turret to the right, so he can get it online if he's there. Another interesting, let's see if he does bring it all the way around. All right, so we did shift. I think I would have stayed with my tank sideways, but he's really kind of just, he's betting the dude's going to come from that direction. I'll be honest, I don't know why you're moving so much. Maybe it's just getting adjusted or whatever. One thing about moving on the cap, end game like that, is your camo is less when you're moving. So it's best to kind of stand still unless you're being shot at, in which case, if you're seen, yeah, move around, wiggle, jiggle, make it hard for him to hit. So there's a lot of things to think about when you're trying to get a cap win like this. Looks like he wants to maybe see him early. Okay. And he looks that way, and he looks that way. Is this dude going to show up? Oh, man, this could be interesting. Let me say one other thing about this particular stance for him. So the Artie's going to come around the corner, and if he's smart, he's going to try to minimize the amount that he comes around the corner. He wants to come around, shoot him, and then back out. It's not a great chance, but that's how I would go about this with the M44, and I'd keep backing up, and I would just hope that maybe I tracked him or broke something or slowed him down enough that as I backed away around the corner of this building, I could somehow get reloaded before he got to me. Unlikely, but it's the best plan. I have a sneaking suspicion based on where the Artie went that he is not going to show up. Notice the Artie did exactly what I said. He got tracked. Very nice. All right, well played by everybody all around. 6 kills. That is a ace tanker. Outstanding. We have 2,172 damage and 53 assists. Now, he said it wasn't a great game. He said he had a couple aces before. It was certainly a good game. You cannot complain about, 2,106 kills at Tier 6. He had some other players do some great work for him. Nice comeback from QQ. Hopefully he lets us know down in the comments either anything I didn't quite get right or got wrong. That's fine. Any other expanding or extra information out there about what he was thinking, what he was doing, just to help everybody else out. But really nicely done. Nice game, man. Appreciate you sending that in. Thank you very much. You guys have a great day, and we will see you.